I'm Simon the Safety Bear. You may have seen me before. I'm the official mascot of the School Safety Patrols. Being a school safety patrol is an honored position. It has been ever since 1937 when the first school patrol was formed. During the 1930s, the number of cars on Alberta roads grew, and with this growth came an increase in the number of accidents involving children. The principal of Calgary's Haltane School, Mr. Reg Harvey, wanted to decrease these accidents. So with the cooperation of the Calgary City Police, the first safety patrol in Alberta was formed. Today, there are thousands of patrols helping students to cross safely at hazardous intersections near schools. Safety patrols have become a tradition, and when you join the school patrol team, you become a part of the tradition. In order to be a good patroller, you must be responsible, because the lives of fellow students depend on you. When you wear a school patrol belt, you become a leader. This means setting a good example for other students, being punctual, and working with other patrollers as a team. Many people are involved in organizing the school patrol. In Calgary, the school safety unit of the city police runs the patrol program. They train the patrollers and visit schools talking with students, answering questions that will help you become a better patroller. The Alberta Motor Association sponsors the school patrol program by supplying all the necessary equipment. It costs thousands of dollars to buy the belts, badges, signs, and rain capes needed. So it is your responsibility to take care of the equipment as long as you are on the patrol team. Keep your belt clean at all times, and when it's not being used, it should be properly stored at your school. Your badge should be worn on your patrol belt, pinned on the shoulder strap at chest level. Once it's pinned there, do not remove it unnecessarily. Your sign should never be treated roughly, and when it's not in use, store it properly in the rack at school. Rain capes are supplied for bad weather. When it's not needed, it should be hung neatly on a hanger. If you put your equipment away neatly after each patrol, it will always be ready for the next day's patrol. There are 3 different jobs on the school patrol, and each are equally important. They are the captain, lieutenant, and patrolman. The captain's responsibilities are to set up, maintain, and execute a duty schedule with the school supervisor, to keep a check on all equipment for damage or loss, to keep a record of attendance of all patrollers, to report any problems to the school supervisor, and to help the supervisor conduct meetings with the patrollers. The lieutenant's responsibilities are to blow the whistle to signal patrollers when to proceed, to report any problems to the captain, to be prepared to take over the duties of captain if necessary, to record information on any vehicle that drives through a patrol, and to make sure the appearance of patrollers is up to standards. The patrolman's duties are to march onto the street in response to the whistle, to inform the lieutenant of any problems, and to protect students crossing by watching for vehicles that may not be able to stop. All of these positions are important. Each job must be done correctly for the safety patrol to work smoothly as a team. At the start of each patrol, patrollers follow the lieutenant out to the crosswalk. Make sure to walk out in a straight line with your sign behind your back. When you come to the crosswalk, all patrollers stop. A good patroller always stands 1 step back from the curb until the lieutenant instructs you to proceed. The lieutenant checks for a safe gap in the traffic before setting up the patrol. If all is safe, after checking all directions of traffic, the lieutenant begins. If it is a pedestrian crossing, the lieutenant pushes the button to start the lights flashing. When it is safe to cross, the lieutenant blows the whistle once. The patrolmen hold out their signs in front of them and take 1 step forward. When the traffic comes to a stop, it is safe to cross. The lieutenant blows the whistle a second time. The patrolman on the far right side of the lieutenant steps off the curb and crosses the street to take up position on the opposite curb. The patrol is now set up and ready to help children cross safely. The procedure is the same for allowing students to cross. The lieutenant and patrolman stand one step back from the curb. The lieutenant gives an arm stretch signal for students to wait behind him on the sidewalk. The lieutenant looks for a safe gap in the traffic by checking all directions. The lieutenant blows the whistle once and the patrolmen take one step forward with their signs out in front of them. When the traffic stops, the lieutenant blows the whistle a second time. The patrolmen, now on opposite sides of the street, proceed onto the crosswalk. When the patrollers have assumed their positions on the crosswalk, 3/4 of the way across, the lieutenant steps aside, allowing students to cross. After the students are safely across, the lieutenant returns to the arm-stretched position. The lieutenant blows the whistle a third time and the patrolmen march off the street and take up their positions on opposite curbs, ready for the next crossing. When it's time for the last crossing, this is the last time the patrol takes students across the street. The lieutenant yells, "Last crossing!" When all the students have arrived, they will take them across for the last time. Once the crossing is completed, the lieutenant yells, "Take down!" When there is a safe gap in the traffic, the lieutenant blows the whistle once. The patrolman takes one step forward with their signs out in front of them. When the traffic stops, the lieutenant blows the whistle a second time. The patrolman on the opposite curb crosses the street to join the lieutenant and the other patrolman. In single file, with signs behind their backs, the patrolmen follow the lieutenant back to the school. There is another special patrol called the Mother Goose Patrol. In this case, a minimum of 2 patrolmen escort all the kindergarten children out to the crosswalk. One patrolman goes first. The children follow behind in a straight line, and the second patrolman brings up the rear. When the first patrolman reaches the crosswalk, he stops, one step back from the curb. The patrolman checks for a safe gap in the traffic. If it is a pedestrian crossing, he pushes the button to start the flashing lights. The first patrolman takes one step forward, holding his sign out in front of him. When the traffic stops, the patrolman proceeds onto the crosswalk. The group follows behind in a straight line. The patrolman in the rear makes sure each child stays between the 2 patrollers. When the children are safely across, the Mother Goose Patrol is finished and the patrolmen return to school. The job of a patroller may look easy, but there are problems that often occur, like patrollers that show up late, or students who don't care and cross unsafely, or cars that refuse to stop at a crosswalk. If problems like this occur, report them to your patrol supervisor. If the problem is serious, your patrol supervisor will call the police and they will come to your school to help solve the problem. Being a patroller is an honor, but it means making some sacrifices, like standing outside when it's cold, being late for or even missing other activities. But there are also many rewards that come with being a patroller, like the Jamboree Banquet. Here, many prizes are given out to patrollers that have exceeded in their area. If you are top patroller, you can even win a trip to Ottawa where you'll meet other patrollers from across Canada. Then there's the June Safety Patrol Picnic. It's a chance to meet with friends for plenty of food, fun, and games. When you take the school patrol pledge, you become a part of the tradition. A tradition to be proud of.